Welcome to another episode of Just Ask Cher Live. Has it been more than a minute? Yeah, it's been way more than a minute since, of course, it's been way too long. The fact that I'm practically forgetting my timer seems like old times. Well, I am back, my friends, and I am super excited to talk about the algorithm because it is a hot topic and I've been gone for a while. So one of the reasons that prompted this very topic, because everybody wants to figure out how can they hack the algorithm. Is there such thing as hacking the algorithm? Well, we're going to break it down tonight because that is a major question. In fact, guys, I posted that. I don't know how many of you guys saw the poll that I put out there, and I was literally asking people, do you work the algorithm? Are you having trouble understanding? Do you not even care about it? And a majority, more than half of the people who responded to that poll, I think it was like at the last time I checked, like 57% of the people said they they want to understand the algorithm better. And that absolutely makes sense because the algorithms can make or break your presence on LinkedIn or on Instagram, wherever you are focusing on. So that's something that we're talking about tonight, and I am so excited about it. So while I ask you my usual question, just curious, are you team live or team replay? No matter when you're watching, I'm so grateful that you are tuning into this live show. No matter what time you're watching, when you're watching, I don't care, but let me know in the comments. And this is the time while you guys are getting all clickety, I'm making sure that I am broadcasting live, and not just on LinkedIn, by the way, although that's where I would say the majority of the magic happens. You guys watching over on Facebook or on Twitter or on YouTube, thank you guys so much for watching. I will check on those comments as well. So I appreciate you guys all in the house. And let's see, let me see if I'm live here. I think so. It's always a sigh of relief. I have at least 50 something LinkedIn Live episodes, and it still makes me feel great. So I see all you guys watching. Comments are getting in there. Oh my gosh. So let's say hello to everybody. Anne is team live. Linda is team live. Monica, Roslyn, love you too. Darshan, Julie, Keith, y'all are showing up for me. I appreciate you. Roderick, Randall, Megan. She's like the next day. So she's into the future because it is 8 a.m. in Australia. So I appreciate you first thing in the morning. And I see Chad. I see Lydia, Nakia. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much for showing up team live because, and those of you watching the replay, I still appreciate you because no matter when you're watching, you are here to learn. And like I said, so today's episode is all about the rhythm. Is it really out to get you? Rhythm's gonna get you. I don't know how many of you guys actually remember that song. I was actually talking about that today. And yes, Gloria Estefan, I remember when the video actually aired on TV. So I'm like aging myself, and that's okay. We age gracefully, right? And my scroll stopper for today, besides, I do talk about other things besides the main topic, which is the algorithm. But the scroll stopper today is a really easy and fun way to talk about something that you're into. So stay tuned for that. And of course, wait till you see my Tap That app for today. I even have an example. It is a really cool, if you're creating video of any type, whether you need an intro, whether you want to do something cool, some graphics, I may have found something that you're going to at least want to test out. So stay tuned because this one I've been using it, not in my projects, but in a few other projects that I'm partnering on. I've been using it. So I'll show you an example as well. So let me dive in now because we are 5 minutes in and I'm trying to stick to my time. We'll see if I can do it because this topic is red hot, my friends. So I want to know, has the algorithm ever frustrated you? I'm sure that's like a resounding yes, because it is so frustrating. Because the thing with algorithms is that they change. So once you think you got it, it's like, oh, I'm going to flip you flip you for real because it's changing the algorithm, and that is definitely frustrating. But I want to make sure that that we don't make that happen. So no more frustration. I want to make sure that you are rocking the algorithm just for you. Okay, and let's see. So Bonnie's in the house. Steve is here and says, I'm glad you're back. Well, thank you, Steve. I'm glad I'm back too. Melissa's, yes, totally. Monica's, which one? All of them are frustrating, Monica. But yes, LinkedIn for me has always been something you've got to figure out and you got to stay on top of it. And that's one of the things I do with my clients. So speaking of which, if we are just meeting for the first time, one, make sure that we're connected. So if you're watching this, I would love to welcome you into my network. But a little bit about me as I speak so fast. My name is Cher Jones, and I am a corporate social media trainer. I specialize in helping professionals and entrepreneurs working and serving in corporate, as well as leaders, develop a powerful digital presence and go on to building personal brands online so they show up credible and they're using social media at work for work. So that's a thing, and that's what I help people do both with my virtual training and coaching. So that is now out of the way and it's time to begin. All right, guys. So the first thing, oh, by the way, I am so excited what's coming down the pipeline, but you know what? Let me not get distracted with my ADD self and we'll keep it moving. So the rhythm is going to get you. So let's jump right into my points. And the one thing that I want to start talking about right away is, but first, what is the algorithm? Because I know there's some people who are like, okay, yeah, I hear that word, I hear it all the time, but what exactly is the algorithm? And that is a perfectly legit question. So social media algorithms are designed to sort your post. So you see stuff based off of how relevant it is to you. Usually at the time of publishing. So what they're trying to do is how relevant and how immediate it is. And social media networks, they're all designed to make sure that you stay on the network as long as possible. So they don't want to show you or share just anything, because they want to make sure that, you know, as you are on this network, it becomes catered to you. So we could be on at the exact same time. In fact, we could be connected to the exact same people and see a completely different feed, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Facebook, or whether you're on LinkedIn. So the algorithm is designed to make sure you stay on the network by feeding you stuff you like. So they're looking at, what do you engage in from a topic perspective, from a connection perspective? Who do you engage with? And you're literally giving them the data. There's a movie that is, or a documentary that's out, and I'm planning a watch party on that. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. The Social Dilemma on Netflix. This is going to be a great conversation. I think it could be a really cool town hall, but I digress for a little bit later. But anyways, back to the algorithm. It is designed to make sure that you see what you want and that you stay in the network. That's the easiest way of looking at it. So when you look at it from the reverse side of things, as a creator, as someone who wants to get their brand out there, whether you're sharing content or creating content or both, what you need to make sure is that you are sharing content that people actually want to see. And that is incredibly important because it matters. And so that's it in a nutshell at the basic level. But let me show you this interesting diagram that I have found. So let me just switch over to the entire screen here. So what you're seeing right now is the LinkedIn algorithm explained, and it looks already confusing. So what happens is people create content on LinkedIn and they actually score the quality of the content. So what I mean by that is they are looking to see, is this quality content? Is it spam? And then if it gets approved, and it's usually approved digitally, what happens is people continue to see it. So what they're looking is that it's monitoring likes and views and also hides and flags. So We always are looking for the good stuff, right? We're looking for, if did we get enough likes or did we get views? But it's also people hide content. So if they start hiding your content or you, because you show up in their feed all the time with crappy content, I know. Tell me how you really feel, right? But seriously, if you show up with crappy content, what happens is people start hiding you because they don't want to disconnect with you, but they can hide your content. And you want to make sure that you are posting stuff that doesn't get hidden, right? So when we look at this, this diagram, and by the way, it was from talkingtobots.com. So LinkedIn is actually, they have a few checks and balances on how whether they will continue to display it or not. And what's interesting with LinkedIn as well, what you may not know, is LinkedIn actually at some point an actual person may view this content, and that's when you see like viral content. Anything that you see has a ton of likes. When I say tons, I'm like talking to like the high hundreds to thousands. A pair of eyes, one of LinkedIn's editors, their content editors, have actually seen that and approved it to make sure that it gets the maximum reach. So that's really interesting, and that's unique to LinkedIn. Whereas Instagram, it is based off of, and there's so many more users on Instagram, so I just don't think they have the capacity to do that. But with Instagram, it is based off of engagement, and also like, as well as engagement and shares and likes and comments, and how you, the user, are sharing the content. So let me get back into my list. Okay, so this is where things start to get serious. Especially on LinkedIn, they're really at this point looking for relevancy. So what do I mean by that? When I say relevancy, is it relevant? So they want people to start niching down. And there was an interesting quote that I read, is if content is king, relevance is the kingdom. And I was like, oh, that's pretty smart. But it's true. And you need to make sense. You need to make sure, in order to get people to engage, because we recognize, even based off of what I just told you, that people are engaging. When people engage with your content, it starts to get pushed out further in the news feed. So it kind of like does a little test. Do people see it? Do people engage with it? And now, okay, so people are interested in this. Let me share it. The network or the algorithm saying is, let me share it a little bit more. So you need to, right from the get-go, make sure it is relevant. And one of the best ways that you can do it, especially on LinkedIn, in fact, in their developers blog, they're saying niche. Go get more specific, get more granular, as opposed to trying to please everybody in your network. And we know this in marketing in general. You got to go in and own your niche. And that should also make you think even more strategically about the people that you are actively pursuing to become a part of your network. Be smart of who you are pursuing. I'm not saying don't let people in your network because they're not in your industry, but as you're pursuing people, you definitely want to make sure that the people that you are pursuing would be interested in the type of content that you're sharing. So you really want to own a niche. And then if you have something specific that you talk about, you become that expert and that sought after expert, as opposed to being the more generalist. And people on those networks, especially as you get into the micro niching, you will find that you will build your audience a lot quicker that way. And it becomes more relevant because it will be found, especially when you are using hashtags and you're tagging the right people. So let's go into the next piece, which is your content creating conversation? So both networks, are all networks, they want to see conversation happening. In fact, LinkedIn has recently, this year, factored in what they call dwell time. So that means how long do people stay with your one particular content, right? So are you bringing them in with your headline, with how you position it, with this great picture, or like a scroll stopping video? That's why I bring up scroll stoppers so often, is how are you bringing them in? And then are you encouraging the conversation? Because that keeps people online when you were having conversations. So replying to comments is important, right? Because you're making sure that you're actually helping LinkedIn out, because or Instagram, because the more people keep on their network is the more opportunity that they'll be able to advertise to them. So you create the content, and then they can advertise by you keeping them there. So you would become the new media company if you want to look at it. And you might be wondering, what am I saying? Don't cheat. I'm going to get there in a second. I slammed my keyboard and then all of a sudden I moved ahead of myself. But conversation is incredibly, I want to move it out of the way. Yeah, it was driving me nuts. But conversation is incredibly important, as well as tagging. So how do you bring people into the conversation? Because you can't necessarily ensure there's no guarantee that someone's going to see your post, especially the people you want to see your post. So what you want to do is bring them in. You want to either tag them in the post because they're relevant to the post. And the one thing that you want to be very mindful, and I see this a lot on LinkedIn. I see this a lot everywhere where people are tagging so many people, and it's like tag clouds everywhere of names and stuff like that. And it's just, they're trying to cheat the system. So I'll stick in don't cheat right now. They're trying to cheat the system by getting more views. But what happens is if you show the algorithm that you're tagging people, and those people who are tagged are not engaging with your posts, because they may not find it relevant, they may not find it in their niche, they don't really care, you're just kind of leveraging their name, what happens is they will eventually devalue you and your post. You've got to be careful with the tagging. I'm not saying don't tag. I'm not a big fan of it, but I see its relevance, and it's great when it's very strategic and functional. But I'm not a fan of just these like packs of tagged people everywhere trying to get the whole network and their dog to respond, because after a while it doesn't work. So be smart and strategic with your tagging so that you can really encourage that conversation. And if it's relevant to them, absolutely share it. And so make sure you're starting that conversation. So one tip that I have for you when it comes to conversation and tagging is ask questions, right? Ask the questions so that people are wanting to have a conversation with you. As well, when you're replying to comments, try to get them to reply to your reply. These conversations matter. And then another way to start the conversation is actually slide in the DMs and say, hey, I posted this and I thought about you because of this. So it's not some spammy thing that you're just cutting and pasting, because they know that too, and they're very aware of what spam looks like. So make sure you're customizing if you're doing that. And there's no problem with reaching out to 10 or 15 people, especially early on when you post it. And that's another little hack, is reaching out in the DMs and letting people know that you posted something, and maybe even thinking about the people in advance that you really think that this is relevant to. Because again, you're seeing how this all works together. The algorithm is not out to get you, but it does take work to get on top of the newsfeed. So what I'm going to do before I go into don't cheat, I'm going to jump into the comments to see what y'all have to say. And let me see. I love what Megan's saying. The biggest problem is tagging people who are relevant but aren't active on LinkedIn, so they don't respond, and you get a wee black mark. But tag clouds, yuck. And it's true. So what you do and I love that, Megan, and that's a great comment. And that's the thing, is like, you want to make sure that you are also tagging people who actually use the network, and not always trying to tag celebrities like Gary Vaynerchuk or something like that. Because unless it's super relevant, then do it, and you never know. Gary has responded to more than one of my posts in my lifetime, so I'm super grateful for that. Yvonne says, I rarely tag people on social media platforms. I'm the same way unless it's strategic and relevant. And let's see. Enrique says, I definitely strategize my tags, and it's so important. In fact, guys, on Friday, by the way, connect with Enrique, because on Friday, I'm going to be on his show at 10 a.m. So I'm excited about that. And yes, Thomas says, hey, Cher, one of my favorite people on LinkedIn. Miss you. Okay, so I'm going to catch up to you later in that comment, but thank you. And Matthew, huzzah, Cher, hello. And then question for DEI people. Do you think talking about race gets punished? Very interesting question, Lucic. I was actually on another post, and someone from LinkedIn came in, and I responded to her as well. And it was really about a lot of people, especially from the Black community, are saying, we are not being ranked in the news feed in the same way. And I absolutely resonated with what this poster was saying. And then someone from LinkedIn actually responded, which I really appreciate, and said, no, there's no active, we're not trying to hide people who are talking about race unless it's something where it becomes offensive in the sense of it's racist or anything like that, against the rules, but they're not. But a lot of Black creators will say, and we were feeling gaslit at this point, because sometimes we do feel that we're not being seen in the news feeds, and we're only being shown to a majority of our audiences are only Black. So there's questions around that, which is totally for another day. But the question is, so are people getting dinged in the algorithm? Possibly. And here's how, but it's not necessarily LinkedIn, is if people constantly report a post. So if it's something that they're offended by, the fact that they're having the conversation, which is, controversial but necessary, if people report the post, until it gets seen by human eyes, it does get dinged in the algorithm. But it's not LinkedIn, it's people uncomfortable with the conversation. So very interesting dynamic, something that is and then once you have so many reported posts, even though someone has not seen it live, it becomes a challenge for your brand. So I love that question. So I'm going to dive in right now with don't cheat, number 4. And so what I mean by that is the bots are going to get you in a bad way. And whether that's on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, if you are using bots, be very careful. I'm not saying all bots are bad, because I've seen some effective ones, but very few and far between. On Instagram, if your stuff is being liked by bots, it's not being counted. They know what the bots are, and they're working. They've been constantly working since 2016. They've been constantly working, and the bots try to stay one step ahead of the algorithm, but they do get devalued real quick. And that bots that automatically comment or automatically send you a DM, those things are being devalued. So that effort in the DMs, you got to be careful of that. So keep that in mind as well. And let me see what else. Yeah, so be careful. Don't cheat. Don't try to cheat or game the algorithm. These are actual, if you think about the advice and the tips and the hacks that I'm giving you, it's all about relationship. It's all about posting quality content. It's all about being active. And then another piece is trying the new features. Because the one thing that I have noticed on being active in networks is they prioritize new features in the algorithm when they come out. So for example, be prepared, because stories is coming to LinkedIn, guys. You can already adjust your privacy settings for your stories, even though you don't have it yet. I haven't seen anybody with it yet, but they are coming. And as well, and they might have just held back on the release date of that just because no one's outside to tell a story. But we know on Instagram, stories have gained traction. Stories continue to dominate the eyeballs. And that is one way, if you want to, on Instagram, post stories daily on Instagram. If you want to maintain an active engagement with your audience, that is something that Instagram and all the experts are saying you've got to do that. And also use the features. So the poll features, anything new that's going on in Instagram. So for example, what's the hottest thing on Instagram right now? Reels. right? So if that's your thing, it's not really my thing. I love seeing them, but it's not where I live, not where I want to spend my time, but there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, they're awesome. So you want to make sure that you're leveraging the new features. Look at this. 5 minutes. There's no way, guys. I'm just going to warn you now. There's no way I could keep in 30 minutes. But I could talk about the algorithm in less than 30. So I'm going to keep it moving, and then I'll get into some questions, and then stay tuned, because like I said, that scroll stopper is fire, as well as my Tab That app. You definitely want to stick around for that. But frequency and timing. That is the next thing that's incredibly important. So I've read a lot, and there's so many things. I want you guys to stay tuned. Look in my profile on Saturday. I'm going to put a recap of this and also some reference documents, because Andy Foote, for example, he is another LinkedIn specialist that I'm connected to in my network. Really smart guy, has podcasts as well, is featured on that podcast. And he did a extensive article on the LinkedIn algorithm. So I'm going to link to that as well. But when it comes to frequency and timing, one of the things that he referenced in another article was around how often you should be posting. And we're suggesting around 20 times per month. And that's like way more than I post. But when you go over that, that becomes an issue. So it becomes too much. And Randall, actually, he posts way more than that. And one of the things that he shared with me is the fact that he decreased his posts. He was doing it a lot. I don't remember his numbers, but he posts more than the average bear. But he told me that when he pulled back on his number of posting, because he was posting a lot, he started to get more engagement and more views. So he also saw being able to pull back. So you don't have to post like crazy all the time, but let's say 3 to 4 times a week on LinkedIn, you will see the momentum over a month. Track your effort for 1 month. In fact, that might be a challenge. We'll see. But track your effort 4 times a week, 4 to 5 times a week. I'd say 4 times a week. Track your effort and see what happens with your numbers. That's what I'm going to go for. Not easy, especially if you really focus on engagement, and especially if you're pulling in those conversations, because that's what you want. It is work. But then if you have a goal on behind why you're doing it, that's incredibly important. And then the final tip is you got to make sure, and I know you can't see this, but you want to make sure that you're keeping them on site. So a lot of people are trying to send people off site. They're trying to send links outside. Sometimes links outside, I see them, they actually work. But oftentimes when I see why they're working is because the person has like 100,000 followers. So when you see 500 likes, when you compare apples to apples, it's like, that's why. So you just want to be careful of the links that you're sharing. Wow, I can't believe, guys, I talked about the algorithm for 20 plus minutes, let's say 24 minutes, and I haven't even scratched the surface. There is so much on the algorithm. So I will put together some more tips for you guys, but I'm going to jump in right now, check the comments, check the questions, and see where we can go from there. Let's see. Yes, so it was from, so thank you so much, Julie. So many of her posts, it was Madison Butler, and that's the post that I commented on as well. Many of her posts get deleted because so many people report it. So it's not necessarily LinkedIn per se, but because people report it, the system is designed to say, oh, if so many people are reporting it as racist or whatever, the system will flag it, and eventually someone may clear it, but it's a pain in the butt to try to do that, right? And that's the other thing. Monica's saying, I'm getting trolls for talking about race on LinkedIn. It changes the dynamic, and it does. It puts you in a very uncomfortable position, especially if that is your space. And it's like, how do you work around that? Because they do. And one of the things that Madison said was, one of the things that LinkedIn has to do a better job of is actually patrolling the trolls, getting rid of the trolls, getting rid of the racism. It's okay to have uncomfortable conversations, but we can see when people are blatantly, offensively racist. I'm not saying everybody has their own opinion. This is not for me judging how they feel or what they feel and whatever. But when it becomes hurtful and offensive, we got to be careful. And yes, everybody has stories on LinkedIn, I believe. And yes, stories are coming to LinkedIn, so it's going to be exciting. And let's see, all these people. Hi guys, I am so excited. Let me jump into the next part. Wow, I can't believe the time. You see, I missed you guys. So that's why I'm here today, because I absolutely missed you. It is a packed house tonight, so thank you guys so much for showing up. All right, so let me know what you guys think. Also, I'm going to get back in the comments and try to answer as much as possible. And I'm going to restart the timer. I'm not going to go for a full hour, I hope. But once this thing is going to stress me out, so I'm just going to maybe restart the timer so I can keep myself somewhat accountable to life. But let me know, guys. What did you think? Did you like it? Did you love what you learned so far? I know it's like I fire hosed you with information, but there's just so much to know about the algorithm, right? And I could go into details upon details. But I'm seeing look at the rude sign. This thing stresses me out. Yes, click to reset. Okay, so it stresses me out. But anyways, let's keep it moving on to today's scroll stopper. And guys, I wanted to remind you, by the way, if, hold on, let me see. If you are not on my A-list, I got a lot of my A-listers watching tonight because they got the heads up that I was going to be broadcasting again. So get on my A-list. I plan to get much more active. I'm doing and you might want to check out the tech too. I'm using Dub to do video newsletters, really short newsletters, behind the scenes, really cool stuff. So check it out. Jump on my A-list, justascher.com. And of course, you guys will get the sneak peek of what's going on first. So I appreciate you guys. And all right, so next up, we are going live to the Scroll Stopper. And today's Scroll Stopper is brought to you by AJ Wilcox. If you are not connected with AJ, let me tell you, you need to connect with this man. He is like the LinkedIn ads guru, okay, guys? I'm talking like he just knows his stuff and he is focused. Let me get back on camera. He is like, when it comes to LinkedIn ads, there is nobody better than AJ. His podcast, you will learn so much. Just following him, you will learn so much. And if you have the budget and you're working with LinkedIn ads, he is your man. I'll tell you that much right there. So this is what AJ posted. Tell me this wouldn't make you stop your thumb. It made me stop. And I thought it was pretty awesome. So basically, this is something that I believe anybody can do. First of all, and I'll explain what it is in a second. Oh, it's an easy scroll stop. So there goes my S. But anyways, it's an easy scroll stopping pick. You can do that. And basically, if you haven't guessed it, it's a book review. And in fact, the first thing that he says is a matter-of-fact headline. He says, book review time, yay! And look at him, so excited, right? So he said, I picked this up because I know Neil Schaefer, right? So what did we get there? Is he tagged the author. Remember tagging, guys? I am all about showing you what I teach, right? So he tagged the author, is a world-renowned expert on LinkedIn, and I was interested in finding out how to apply influencer marketing strategies on LinkedIn, since they have been already widely accepted and leveraged on Instagram, which we know is true. I was blown away by how much this taught me, not only about LinkedIn, but about influencer marketing in general, and how small I was thinking. If you're looking for a mind-blowing read, check out The Age of Influence by Neil Schaefer. So I love that he tagged the author. And this is, look at how I'm tying this in, friends, relevant to the network. Talk about tying it in, right? Making this relevant to that post, right? It is relevant to his network, who are probably their marketing professionals, anybody who needs to market. They are thinking about how they can use this, right? So relevant to the network. I loved this part. It was an honest review plus a humble growth statement. So he's talking about the fact that he learned stuff. And when you share professional books, especially on LinkedIn, it is something that you can you're showing people that you're constantly learning and growing, and that you're adding more value to the people that you're working with, to the team that you're with, whether it's a leadership book, whether it's a very, very targeted niche, book, whatever it is. The one thing is you're giving the review, you're building the opportunity to build a relationship with the author, for example, that may open up other opportunities for you to work with them or just share a stage with them. Who knows? Be on their platform, their podcast, anything. So you never know what you can create out of reviewing books. So I think this is a really easy to do strategy. In fact, I have a question. What book will you try this strategy with? Let me know in the comments. So get your books in. Definitely in the comments. I know for me right now, and actually I have one of my clients reading the same book. It's called The Alter Ego Effect and by Todd Herman. Fantastic book. And I think it can be so helpful for people who need to either get in front of video and they're afraid, or get on the stage, or put themselves out there on a podcast. You can create an alter ego. So I'm going to be sharing that soon. I know my client is also working on the same strategy. So this is an awesome strategy to share with your network. So let me know, because I might find another good book in there. So I can't wait to see that. And where am I next? All right. Tap that app, my friends. And before I jump into Tap That App, I'm just going to jump into the comments to see what you guys are saying. Think like a monk. The body knows the score. On trauma. All right. So guys, keep sharing the books. I wonder if he added an affiliate link for that book. That's what Karan's asking. I'd buy it and I'd click it and buy it right now. Well, that would be smart. I'm always curious because, like, I know on Instagram you can put something that's saying it's sponsored, or because there are ethical things around, having an affiliate link. So I would just put hashtag affiliate link or something there, just so that you are being ethical in that sense. But absolutely, like, one of the things that I'm thinking about creating as I update the tool guide that I've been telling you guys about for a while is creating a corresponding Amazon store with that. Because what you may not know is Amazon's now working with influencers and they can do live programming on Amazon. I know. Awesome, right? So if that's something that tickles your fancy, that may be something that you want to do as well. That's, you heard it here first if you didn't know about it. No Canadian experience, says Katija. The Myth of the Nice Girl, Melissa's recommending. See, like, all these books. I want to see everybody who mentioned a book. I'm going to put you on the spot. I can't wait to see your review. So make sure you tag me in the comments so that I can check it out, or send it to me via DM so I can check out your review as well, because I think it's awesome. And you can do that crazy cool picture that AJ did, or you can do a video review as well, because you know video is fire in the algorithm. We know that. All right. So I wanted to remind you guys, by the way, is don't miss the post. If you are not following Just Ask Cher, the hashtag, you're missing out, because I'm telling you, more is coming your way. I'm actually going to do a lot more when it comes to all of my past Tap That apps. I'm actually going to do like a small series on them. So I'm really excited about that. My top 10 Tap That apps in a whole new video series. So it's gonna be fun. We'll see. And that's part of my, for a week kind of thing. So we'll see how that goes. So next up, I want to talk to you guys about videos. Not videos as in videos like post videos. Check this out. Videos. This is the app. This is a paid for app, guys. So like, not everything I tell you is free, but if you need to create a video, I'm going to show you how what this is for is, let me jump back online first and I'll show you. What this is for is if you need to make an intro, like a video intro, like cool words flashing across, you can do it with videos. Okay. I create an intro every week for a broadcast that I am the back end person for. And what it allows me to do is every week I am creating something new, something awesome. So I thought, guys, that I would share with you something that I created on the fly, just so you guys can get an example of how this works. So I'm going to switch. Let's see here. All right. So here is the videos platform, which right now you're looking at my face, but what I really want you to look at is this. All right. So here's the videos platform. I already created a video so you guys can see it, and let's see it come up. Hold on one second. Let me move it over This is the problem of having too many monitors. So what you guys don't know is I upgraded the studio. I got 3 monitors now, so it's messing with me. But anyways, I made this really quickly, like literally 2 minutes before I started. Okay, guys? And let's play. Okay, so I literally made that with this platform. And basically what it allows you to do is you can make all these little graphics. You can customize them and make graphics like that. It has little videos. It is a little bit limiting as far as what you can do with them, but at the same time, it allows you to, so for example, it allows you to create. So I'll show you what this looks like. If you wanted to make a logo like this. So all you do is like, this is what it allows you to do. It allows you to add one image, so that would be your logo image. It has audio, and then basically all you do is say customize this logo. It gives you the breakdown of the ratio. So let's just say my face is the logo, and then it will ask you for colors, and then it will give you, we're going to use that. It will give you a preview, and then it takes about 5 minutes for it to download. But it's really not bad. It's really easy to use, especially if you're creating a lot of stuff for yourself. So here's the pricing, by the way. If you go onto their website, they'll put a tracking pixel on you, and then they'll remarket it to you for like 70 or 80 bucks. So it's a little bit cheaper than the website if you walk away, because you know they're going to follow you anyway. So, but here's the little caveat. So let me just give you the website, videos.com. So check them out. Again, really easy to create awesome graphics. But in order to get like the good stuff, they have a monthly subscription. So that's a one-time fee. So that $97, or let's say you get it for like $89 or whatever I paid for it, that's a one-time fee. But then they have a monthly subscription where they add in they even have like lower thirds. So that's where you see the name fizzing across. You can make some things that say follow me on YouTube, or subscribe on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, whatever. You can use that. And I think it's really cool if you're doing a lot of your editing yourself. But that monthly subscription, I think of like 30 bucks a month, can be pricey if you're not regularly updating. So what you can do is subscribe for a month, make all the things you want, and then you have access to the standard ones that they have in their club. But whatever, you can figure out the logistics of it. I just wanted to let you know that I've been having fun with it. It allows me, I'm not like, I can't do all those kind of graphics. I'm pretty handy, but that's like next level. And this is literally enter in words and make things happen. So I don't know about you, but I think it was pretty awesome. So play with it, check it out, and have fun with it. So now, of course, I got my A's to your Q's. But in the meantime, while you're typing your questions in the comments, I wanted to remind you that, of course, sharing is caring. So if you got this far in the episode, especially this far in the episode, I've been talking for like 45 minutes, you definitely found value. So share it with your network. That helps me in the algorithm. We know that's a good thing, right? We want the algorithm to work for Cher. Sharing is caring. So make sure you do that. Now let me jump in to see if there's questions. Steve Sullivan says, I love videos. If you combined multiple clips, you can create something professional looking, some professional looking videos. Absolutely agreed. They're super fun. Is that monthly? These eyes can't see it on my phone. So what we saw, so Daryl, that was, and I think because the amount of shows that you create, so basically it would be like, let's say 90, let's say it's, if they repixel you and all that stuff, you find it for like, I think it was 90 bucks. I think I paid for it. But let me just check the prices. So that was a one-time price, $97 on their website. Again, they'll track you and sell it to you for cheaper. And then they have a monthly fee of $30 if you want to level up. So first what I would do is I'd check to see what they have in their collection that you get with the one-time fee of $97. And then if you want to continue using it and you're not happy with the variety that they have there, then you go into, you subscribe to their monthly thing for a month and see if it's worth it to you. And again, if you're using it, if you're creating, then it's worth it. It does allow you to do different things for you having, and anyone else who has a show who has guests on it. It's a great way to create an intro where you feature your guests. Like, awesome stuff. I think it's worth the price of admission, because ultimately we're using these to create opportunity or to create clients or money or all that good stuff. So, and then Yvonne says, I saw their ad in my feed and thought it was a pretty cool app, and it makes it easy if you're not a designer. Exactly. I love that, E. That's an InShot is great too. It absolutely is. But this is like, Bonnie, this one is even like a level up from InShot, because it just has a huge collection that you can choose from. So, and like people like Chad, I know that you have your agency and the things that you're doing for other people. This might be great for you as well as a value add on that. So definitely check it out. And oh yeah, it's definitely easier than Canva, and you're getting next level stuff because you can do, again, those lower thirds, that's like the graphics where it's just like it's going to play it over your information. So I think that's awesome. So anyways, guys, if you got questions, leave them in the comments below. I wanted to remind you of now what's coming up next. So next week's episode is, I've been getting a question I got a question this week in my inbox in the DMs about how can you niche down in LinkedIn specifically. So most people, they're developing this awesome general network, and especially considering we're talking about the algorithm and how important it is to niche. If you are in a specific field, in addition to having all these friends that you've created that are all over the place that may not be able to refer you business or opportunities, how do you niche into your network? Where do you find these people? So that's what I'm going to be talking about next week. So make sure you tune in. And of course, if you are not on the A list, just.cher.com, make sure that you get on the list. You know what I'm saying? And of course, all of my back episodes from Just Ask Cher, easily found on YouTube. So check them out over there. And soon I'm going to start vlogging, sharing some behind the scenes stuff that are only going to end up on YouTube. And of course, for my Just Ask Cher, the A-list subscribers, you guys will get access to them absolutely first before anybody else. So jump on there. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for this extended remix of the show. I am back. I am so happy to be back. I needed the time. I realize that now because this energy wasn't there a couple of weeks ago. These ideas weren't here a couple of weeks ago. So I had to listen to my brain and listen to my body, but now I'm back. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm really appreciative of you, and I hope you have a fantastic week. Leave your questions, DM me if we're not connected, connect with me, and thank you so much for sharing this episode, and I will see you on the next one. All right, bye guys.